Ladies and gentlemen, live from the dingy confines of my office, opaque, like a fortress of solitude, we're live and we're bad. What's going on, people? It's pretty dark with this laptop. I'm back on the laptop, so we'll see if it freezes or anything like that. We shall see. Let me hit the other lights, though. I'm going to get the fluorescence on. It'll be like an interrogation. It'll be like an interrogation of sorts. Is that any better? Am I less grainy? That's better. I feel like that's better. As if we want to see more of me. Danny Boyd is first. Barrow's Garage, Brother Bear is in the chat. What's going on, man? Chris Greenaway saying, Dan making me big sad. Dan saying, just digging them baby moons on Ari's truck. I love that picture, Dan. Thanks, Brother Bear. Saying Barrow's Garage is saying that is just one sweet looking truck. Thanks, man. I miss those white walls sometimes. Dickie Farley's in the chat. Unfinished Project is in the chat, missing his beauty sleep for the sake of listening to me rant. What's going on, Unfinished? Abel D is in the chat. Abel, I saw your text from earlier, man. I didn't get a chance to reply. I'm sorry about that. Annie Boyd saying, when I was a little kid in the early 70s, someone around the corner had a Hugger orange, black vinyl top 67 or 68 Camaro SS. He had big and little chrome reverse wheels and the baby moons. It is a really good classic look. I didn't realize how classic it was when I threw the truck together, but it definitely is. Definitely is a classic look. I'm trying to get a good angle here, but I look like crap from every angle. So what are you going to do? We'll live with it. Cousin Mike is in the chat. Landon Custom Classics. Barrow's Garage is saying, sorry again that we weren't able to meet up last week. It was a hectic week at best, man. No worries, man. Honestly, I'd be very happy to see you, but just the same, I understand you're on vacation, man. If you got a chance to spend more time with the family or the lady down here, I would assume that's a better route than sitting around with my grubby self. But just the same, man, I hope to see you before too long. I wanted to give you that Holly carb to give to cousin Mike because it's just sitting there getting dusty. I know they don't age well. Chris Greenaway saying, Dan, I'm supposed to be first. New thing on your studio wall, says Buff. I got a couple things I want to put up. I'm just kind of reluctant to do it. Um, my dad uses the office as well, and he'd probably be like, why the hell is all this car stuff up here? Buff Del Campo, how are you doing, brother? I tried to link your channel a couple times in Tony's live just because I would hope more people watched your channel. I think there were people asking about it. So more people need to see Buff Del Campo's Turbo Carnival. Turbo Circus? Turbo Carnival. Carnival. Short and tall, heed the call, and my name is Carnival. Chris is saying, porking up for the winter, amigo. We might have a green Christmas. Yeah, I'm pretty fat right now. Buff is saying you did, and thank you. Chris, I weigh like 230 something pounds right now. I'm pretty fat, brother. Um, yeah, Buff, more people need to see the channel. You and Kim are kicking ass over there. Make sure to have your pink grapefruit sparkling water, the most manly beverage ever made. Cousin Mike saying that Barrows is on the naughty list. I gave him one job on that trip. Unfinished project is driving, had to run out. Just got word that my boy needs a packed lunch and we didn't want to send a cheese sandwich. Barrow's Garage is getting full for Christmas this year for sure. But yeah, I'll probably end up sending that carb to Mike. Um, I don't see myself doing any crazy performance upgrades on the 350 anytime soon, so that's something. Chris Greenaway is saying I now go on a diet before Christmas to be only 5 over my normal weight. My blood runs cold. Buff Del Campo's drinking Mountain Dew Major Melon. It's pink. Is that good enough? Unfinished is saying he would have been fine with it though. Yeah, I mean, you got to get some decent grub. That's one thing that I'm kind of weird about at work. I see so many people in there, and it's like they eat some strange stuff. They eat the taco truck every day, which is fine, but they don't even get tacos. They get like these. It's not a true. It's a hamburguesa. It's not a true hamburger. So I don't. They get some weird stuff out there. I'm gonna lose the flannel, guys. It's a little warm. A little warm for such things. In other news, in other news, my glasses are very reflective. Dan's saying 5 over ain't too bad, Chris, especially nowadays. Mopar Man saying I just had a peanut butter sandwich and a cold glass of milk. Nice, man. Mopar Man, you ever get almond butter? It's a little bit hipstery, but it's pretty damn tasty too. Chris Greenaway saying I have a story I have had lost in memory for a while that gets my blood cold. Chris is just over here monologuing. I don't know what's going on. You all right, Chris? Dan saying PB and J, lots of J. Chris Greenaway saying, Dan, I'm 35 over on the ray. I'm I'm pretty big right now. I normally fluctuate right around like 200, but I guess I've been eating better or I'm getting older or something. I don't know. I'm 235 pounds right now. No poor man saying, besides the strawberry jam or grape, I like toast huckleberry jam. What the hell? Huckleberry just got like a picture of Doc Holliday on the jar. Dada Lebreton is in the chat. What's going on, Darren? Thought there was no after night Ari Letterman Dharma show. I was scrolling to find the live and got stuck on a live Rio de Janeiro beach party. It was only a beach walking with bikinis. That doesn't sound like that's probably a better video to watch than this, brother. And saying I'm at 185, 5'8", maybe 160 still flabby. Off Del Campo saying, "Oh, what happened here?" Unfinished is deleting messages. He says no. Probably on accident. He said he's driving. Oh, Buff's saying, I don't think a taco truck bed can be installed on a Rivian. How would that be done? A Rivian Lanchera. Buff, they make those electric vans for Amazon. I think they're called Chinooks or something like that. But you could probably turn one of those into a decent lunch truck. Miss Olive Drab is in the chat. Howdy, Olive. How are you? Danny Boyd saying, if I didn't watch my eating, I'd for sure be obese. I weighed 225 in my 20s. Yeah, I'm pretty bad about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll eat pretty sparingly during the week. And then last night, I ate an entire, like, apple crumble pie. The entire thing. I didn't even get a plate. I, I'm a horrible person. Chris Greenaway saying, my friend told me about an experience. So, in context, this road is in northern Ontario with a Z pattern with sharp, steep points of contact. So, he was driving his truck through a blizzard. Danny Boyd's greeting all BNR Racing's in the chat. What's going on, Brian? Justin Hill is in the chat. What's going on, Justin? How are you, brother? Cousin Mike saying we need to hang out and do stepbrother activities. Dude, we'd have too much fun. That's what I'm saying. Like, we'd have to, like, make sure to give Brother Bear whatever bail money we thought was necessary. I don't know if there's probably bribe him off with taters up there. Danny Boyd's saying, now that I'm older, I can tell my body wants less food. Buffalo Compost saying I lost 98 pounds in 2007. 2007, now I gain and lose 10 pounds. Yeah, I'm just in one of those phases. I've been eating too much, not moving around enough. There was Garage saying, stop throwing dirt on me. Justin Hill, I didn't get it. I met Barrows one time, but I didn't get a chance to meet up with him on this on his last trip down here. He was a busy man. And I mean, given I probably would have been fairly busy myself. You'd probably catch me half asleep after a nice 10 or 12-hour shift. So, but yeah, decent week. We were working 12 hours each day this week, 7 to 7. And I'm a psycho, so I show up at work around 6. So I was pretty out of it. I was like a headless chicken this week. Buffalo Combo saying Kim cooks so much good stuff. I eat too much sometimes. That doesn't sound bad. Cousin Mike says no women around. We could shit with the door open, make beef jerky, and go on riverboat gambling trips. People saying I crash dieted, my weight off, and only ever gained half that back. Been under 200 for 25 years. Chris Greenaway is continuing his story, saying he looked down into the ravine, and an apparition of a white man was running up towards the truck he stopped. Got out and it was gone. He slowly drove the sharp bend, and it was complete black ice into a 25-foot fall into a bluff. Donna Leberton saying, no, it was like strip clubs advertising. When you actually get in, it's totally different quality. Not there are only skinny models on the beaches. Some looked more like a 78 Lincoln. And D's in the chat. What's going on, brother? You know, are saying still up at 4 a.m., work 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., 6 days a week. Yeah, Brian. I mean, I've been doing normally 6 to 5. They wanted to push 7 to 7 last week to put up, to kind of ramp up production, but it kind of it kind of backfired on them because they ran out of certain parts. So they tried to have us make a few bucks and different things like that, but it ended up just kind of throwing off the rhythm. So I don't know if it worked as they planned. Justin Hill's asking how the truck is. The truck is doing well. The truck is doing well. I got a little bit of work to do to her, like always. I got a lot of work to do with that damn truck. Let's be honest. Got a lot of work, a lot, a world of work to do on that truck. But she's been running well. I had my exhaust, the collector on the driver's side, despite having lock nuts on there and everything, just sometimes it works itself loose and it burnt out the little exhaust donut that was in there. And I had open exhaust again, so it was noisy. So one of my lunch breaks this week, I got in there and I changed the little donut gasket and I threw some Loctite on there. So we'll see how it goes. It's just the orange Loctite. I don't know if I should have gone red. I figured I'd snap the ear off of the damn manifold if I use red. Are seeing a problem with factory work? Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm all for it. I mean, 6 to 5, it's basically, I mean, it's 10 and a half hours if you take the lunch out. But you throw on the extra hour and a half, it does really drag ass. 7 to 7 was dragging ass. I was like, okay, I mean, we're still going. All right. But that's why I don't like this laptop. Frozen. Girls Garage is saying in Idaho, riverboat gambling is a jet boat in Hell's Canyon and a cooler full of beer. Nice. Buff Del Campo saying I was on Tony's live and Kim was working in the shop. We have a wood stove in the shop for heat. She cooked potatoes in the stove tonight, so I ate a potato after dinner. Nice. And D's starting a new job tomorrow. What did you get into, man? Anything cool? Hopefully not ditch digging or nothing. And saying I love potatoes. Taters. Take an old cold tater and wait. Cousin Mike saying maybe tomorrow I'm gonna do a video of the potato museum. Dude, don't ruin it for me. Don't I want to go to the fucking excuse me. I want to go to the potato museum. And D saying what vehicle doesn't need work. And D, you know what I mean, but it's starting to pile up on me. I really need to take some time and actually get to work on that damn truck. Just set out the parts that I have to put on it, the tools I need to do the work, and just tune the world out. Put on some rock and roll and get it done. Cousin Mike saying most packaged potato products you eat, Barrow smelled cooking. Nice. That's right. He's like right there, right by Wonka's factory. Dan saying I had to put a new donut in my Corolla last summer. Dan, I have one sitting right there for the Corolla. I'd grab it, but it's not really anything worth seeing. Got to do that next. She's getting noisy. The food nerd is in the chat. Howdy, mom. How are you? Chris Green always saying. Then the next morning, the EMTs and fire trucks were rushing out as another transport went into the bluff. The driver was never recovered. It sounds like an old trucker song, Chris. Kind of like Phantom 309, but a little more morbid. Sounds glitched. Yeah, this laptop's like it's firing on five. Rose Garage is saying if you buy Idahoan brand instant taters, they are made across the street from me. I'm so sick of taters. I like those things, brother Bear. Easy way, quick and easy side dish, that's for sure. Mopar man saying when I do my 7 to 9 hour days, I'm standing, walking, lifting, bending. 9 hours makes for a long day. Yeah, no, it definitely does, mother brother. That's for sure. I'm always, moving around. I'm fairly lazy, but not in the work environment. Buffdo Campo is asking, what materials do you work with mostly, like making a buck or anything like that? Buff, the first couple I did were just this week, and I was kind of I was kind of upset about it because they were really vague as to what they wanted installed on the car and what they didn't want installed. So I kind of had to argue a little bit of what was actually necessary for test results, and they listened. I was genuinely shocked. Genuinely, I basically just threw the suspension onto the chassis itself, and I installed the ECU that controls the air suspension, and so I could actually fill it, run the pneumatic test, and so it was basically just raw suspension, wiring harness, the rear ECU, and then the accumulator tank. It wasn't much on there at all. A couple brackets up front, but mostly just full chassis buff. Just everything for the prototypes, so they can do whatever they need to do with them. Because Mike's saying his mailbox is on the edge of the lawn of the potato plant. That's pretty bad. And St. Barrow's Garage, I eat them a couple or a few times a week. Don't get the Hidden Valley Ranch ones though. That sounds disgusting. And D saying a parts and service writer for a truck shop. It's an office job, so something different. BNR saying the Mitsubishi Diamond Star guys now, Rivian Motors in Normal, Illinois, they work 10s, 12s, 14s, sometimes 20 hours nonstop. Yeah, yeah. If I was just doing one station of a line, you know what I mean, just installing one damper or whatever the hell it is, you know what I mean, I might be able to do that, but I got to be pretty cognizant for some of the work I do. Donna Leberton saying, so I heard you saying last time you were working on a Slant Six. You heard my question on Tony's live about Slant Six top end rebuilt. I bought the 75 Valiant 225 one barrel for a steal, even for a 4-door. And D saying no weekends are on call. That's pretty rad, man. That sounds like a mellow switch. You can save your energy for your cars. Heroes Garage is saying, I won't tell you what's in them. Potato plant. Unfinished. I like that. That went right over my head. Cousin Mike saying, everybody keep an eye out for my potato museum video. It will be epic. Chris Greenaway saying, no one liked my story. I liked your story, Chris. Like I told you, reminded me of an old trucker song. I should have written it down. That way I could have told it all at once. Because, I feel like it being kind of in a few separate comments took away from the suspense. But I liked your story, Chris. Don't make assumptions. Mexican Specs in the chat saying, hey, guys, you didn't come on right away, so I got nervous and jumped over to Jamie's live. Who is Jamie? Buff Del Campo's Buff Del Campo. Check out Oh, Buff Del Campo saying, Dada Leberton, check out my channel. Lots of slant stuff there. Definitely. Buff, if you want to link your channel for Darren, that would be really cool. Kim Fixes thing is saying, howdy, Kim, how are you? Saying, we have been building a 74 slant six powered four-door Valiant for the past 6 months. They are a solid car. Dave Lewis is saying, made it. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. What's going on, Dave? How are you, brother? Yeah, Darren. I mean, I assembled the Slant Six, but it's just been sitting around since I assembled it. You know what I mean? And I was the core that I bought was just absolutely gone. I mean, there was just a huge like ridge on the upper on the huge cylinder. Who's a box of biscuits, a box of mixed biscuits. There was a huge ridge on the cylinders. The valve seals were gone. I mean, that thing was just it would have ran probably, but it would have been a dog. It would have been bad. So I had it rebuilt and I assembled it, but I didn't get a chance to really finish anything else. So it's just sitting there. Cousin Mike saying Dodge couldn't even build an engine straight. Buff Del Campo just linked his channel. For those who are not enlightened, please check out Mr. Turbo Del Campo as well as Kim Fixes Things. A collaboration for the ages. Dave's doing good. Glad to hear it, man. Yeah, the shop's probably. You said the shop's in full swing with all the winter projects, right? Heroes Garage is saying, Donna Leberton, the Slant 6 and Flat 6 are the most dependable engines Mopar ever built. Those things will run forever if you take care of them. Oh yeah, but sorry, Darren. That was the point of what I was saying. Is that the core I got was an absolute dog. Like everything was gone on there. It just needed every kind of love. So I had it machined. But I mean, if you've got a decently running Slant 6, if it's sat for a while, you know what I mean. He made the valve seals may be old and brittle or something like that. But for the most part, as long as it's not chugging or smoking or knocking, I'm fairly certain you could just work with what's there, man. Andy Wood saying use King's biscuit flour. Chris Greeno is saying my one friend had a similar experience driving 17 plus hours on a road, moving cross country. He had hit an S and seen an apparition in the road running towards him. Couldn't do nothing. Stopped. It disappeared. Dave Lewis is saying Engine City. That sounds like fun, Dave. Sounds like a lot of fun, man. I really prefer messing with the engines. You know, the rest of the it's like Tony said. You know what I mean. The engine is the ice cream. The rest of the car is kind of like the cone. Donna Leberton saying, "I will. Thanks, Buff Del Campo. I was raised in a Mopar family and lost my passion for 20 years after my father sold our '68 Charger RT 3 years ago. I bought a '66 Pontiac Star Chief Executive 389. That's a pretty sweet car." And saying albino Sasquatch. Chris Cadman's in the chat. Howdy, Chris. Howdy, Heidi. Cousin Mike saying, I think the engineer that drew up the Slant 6 was drunk that day. He laughed so hard when he actually seen it in person. It is a weird looking engine. And I mean, it's just so like oblong and like what? The crank must weigh like 90 pounds. It's a forged steel crank on this like 125 horsepower motor. It's just, it's just all over the place. Dave Lewis is saying, if the part gods smile on me. You dealing with back orders and stuff, Dave? I'm sure. Trying to buy anything decent nowadays, you're gonna have to wait. Mexican Spec saying, Danny Boyd, my dad bought a Chevy wagon from Fletcher Jones in '66. That is why he bought Fords after that. Buff Del Campo is saying that I had a friend in the airport. Had a friend in the Air Force back in the '70s. He had a '48 Plymouth with a flathead six. He blew a head gasket. He removed the head, sprayed the original gasket with copper coat, and drove it. I love those old tough tractor type cars. You know, the Papio Daniel Flower Hour. Dan saying, "What's up with Fletcher Jones?" I don't know, Dan, but Fletcher Jones Jr. was is kind of an ass. Olive saying Mex has a duster I like. You need another duster, Olive. I think the universe is saying so. You are saying I had a hot rod barn call me while I was working at Classic Auto Factory Restoration in DeKalb, Illinois, just 3 months ago. Cousin Mike, I forgot you lifted up the slant six like that. That is insane to me. Like lifting up parts of it, will herniate some people. You lifted the whole damn engine. Dan saying my dad said F Ford back in '74 and switched to Olds and Buick. My mom soon followed. On Google, we got thrown out of. Yeah, yeah, Mexican spec. They're pretty. At zero and I, at zero and I actually, we have a buddy Jesse who had a run in with him. I worked at the same bar doing security with this guy Jesse, and Fletcher Jones Jr. like had some kind of fit and tried to like choke Jesse. Jesse's like he's a few inches shorter than me, but he's like 300 pounds, and it's a funny story. It's not it's stupid. I guess. Dave Lewis is saying the demo derby guys love the warped six engine. They run out of water. They run without water the longest. That I could believe. Maybe that's what the guy did with mine. Maybe I could bought a demo derby slant six. J-Bo's in the chat saying, "All right, get a coat on. It's freezing here." J-Bo, technically it's cold for me here. It's about maybe 58 degrees outside. It's pretty cold for me. Chris Greenway saying I want a 71 duster. Olive's going to win Derek's duster. Mexican spec saying, all right, my dad and I went to confront Fletcher Jones Jr. when he sold a bad car to one of my employees. He didn't like that. He's a very temperamental dude, isn't he? Mexican spec, at least from my experience. Uh, Jabo saying it's 32 there. Jeez, man. Jabo, the cool thing is though, you get to work when you work, your beer won't get warm. That's an upside there. Rose Garage is saying, Buff Del Campo, I could show you 4 irrigation pumps around here that are still powered by those flat sixes in the open, but still going strong. Gee. Buff Del Campo was saying that we drove the Flathead Plymouth the next day and went on a 600-mile trip. I was nervous about it, but it performed flawlessly and got 22 miles per gallon. See, that's badass. Annie Boyd saying our 75 Cutlass was great. Only thing ever went wrong was the side vinyl molding that fell off the one fender after 3 years. Dr. Art's in the chat. What's going on, brother? How are you? What's going on down south? Dr. Art is also building EVs, as well as everything else. Donna Leberton is saying, after the Pontiac gave me back the car passion, I bought a 58 Meteor, Rodeo 500, a 65 GTO, and a 65 Laurent. I don't even know, Laurentian. They're all projects and very reasonable or very restorable with little rust. Valiant is complete though. Well, that'll be cool, man. They'll make for a good cruiser. Saying had to be super rich to get a car down there, 100 to 300,000 cash to hand over. I see BNR. It's like I want so bad to get away from that kind of hot rodding. The restoration business is so like ah, can't imagine that spending 100 grand on a car and being like, well, I need another 50 grand if you want the suspension you wanted. Come on. Unfinished is saying Derek's Duster giveaway was drawn on the 8th. If you weren't notified, it wasn't you. Unfinished. I'm surprised you didn't pull your magic and win that one. I'm very surprised. Mopar man saying I had to work on my buddy's General Lee. Found out he got bad gas from Casey's. The condenser went bad. Then found out what was that? Found out some other dude worked on the car and put POS champions in a 383. Oh, I thought champions were spec for Mopar. All of a sudden, I tended to just remove stick on side molding. Buff saying I built a flathead Plymouth or Dodge if I had one. Buff, if you watch Bryce DeCastro, I Spider Garage, he's got a flat six in his, I think it's a 52 Dodge Diplomat. It could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Mopar Man saying the champion plugs were not firing like they were supposed to, but put a set of NGK plugs and it fixed the problem. Put in a set of NGKs. Yeah, a lot of people swear by the NGKs. I really like Autolite plugs. Laurentian. Laurentian. That's how it's pronounced in Canadian cars. So yeah, I need to learn more about the whole Canadian designation for cars and whatnot. Like I didn't know that a Chevelle was a Beaumont, stuff like that. Danny Boyd saying champions can't be as bad as Precision Tune or branded plugs. I once pulled a couple out of a Tempo and the electrode pulled out of the turbo. Mopar man, but the NGKs are Japanese. What's the difference, man? And decent. I talked with an old fellow in Maine that raced flathead six Chryslers and said they were better than the Ford flathead V8s. That would be a cool side by side to see. Olive saying I've been with NGK since Bosch started letting me down. Are they not made in Germany anymore or what? Paint Neighbors in the chat. He's saying champion plugs always fouled out very easily in my Mopars. I think Ad Zero runs champion plugs, unless I'm wrong. BNR saying I had a shop call me in Elgin, Illinois a few days ago. Ari, dude was talking flat rate with me. Told him I get paid hourly. Asked how much. I said more the better. Dude advertised 45 per hour. That's not bad, man. It's probably still less than what you're worth. Donna Lebreton is saying Laurentian is a Canadian Catalina version with a 283 cubic inch power pack. It's named is from Quebec Scenic Mountains. 58 meteor Rideau is 500. Rideau 500 is a Fairlane 500 Canadian version. It's all sensible and Canadian. Unfinished is asking Mike if the NGKs are Filipina. Buff Del Campo saying my grandfather had a 51 Dodge with a flathead when I was a little kid. I didn't like the car then, but now I think it's a great car. It's funny how that changes, huh? I was just talking with my dad about that earlier. He used to have he had some great cars throughout the years, and working the car auctions, he passed up a lot of great cars too because they weren't worth anything at the time. Eric Kofed's in the chat. Howdy, Eric. Saying hello, Ari. Happy holidays. Happy holidays, brother. You, I've had my head so far into work, I keep forgetting it's even that time of year. Last week they were talking about, well, we could probably leave a little bit early on Friday because of the weekend. I was like, what's going on? And they're like, Christmas, dude. I'm like, oh, jeez. Saying I told him I'm getting 40 now. The hell if he's doing flat rate. Oh yeah, flat rate and hot rod restoration sounds pretty. Because yeah, that sounds pretty horrible, dude. Because everything's a can of worms. Everything. Nothing's meant to go together. It's like you're introducing foreign system to foreign system after. Unless you're doing hell, even if you're just trying to restore it to stock, it's going to be a can of worms. Like, how the hell are you going to do flat rate for that? Chris Greenaway saying no. Our Canada had assembly plants that assembled cars with different monikers alongside their U.S. shipped counterparts. Beaumont, Chevelle, Acadian equal Nova, Merc, Ford Interior. Unfinished project saying it's not pronounced coughed. I like that. That's almost as good as the potato plant. Hubie's Garage is in the chat. What's going on, Hubie? All I'm saying, if only I'd had a secure place to put things, I would have saved many for the future when they were cheap. It wasn't about the money. It was about not liking new things. Pretty much. One poor man saying, I did a test with both brand plugs while the engine was running, touched the threaded part of the plugs to a ground, and the champs wouldn't light up, but the NGKs did. Rich 220's Garage LLC is in the chat. Howdy, Rich. Because Mike's saying I need to put a heater core in the Thunderbird so I can drive it. Dan's talking about cutlasses. One poor man saying inside the porcelain tails and the Champion Autolites plugs, they have a short section with a spring in it to bridge the gap. NGKs have a solid metal rod. Have you ever looked up the full name to NGK, Mopar Man? If you can say it, if you can pronounce that name, buy you a beer or something, man. Dave Lewis is saying had to start leak testing spark plugs. Some are not sealed around the porcelain, leaving a carbon track. Damn, that sounds kind of terrifying, actually, Dave. I'm gonna be paranoid for the rest of my life. Rich is saying as of 12/15/2023 at 4 p.m., the 57 roared back to life. Glad to hear it, Rich. That was that thing was giving you some trouble for a while there. You know, say you told me to stop by, Ari. I haven't stopped by yet. Ruby's Garage is saying on a Christmas movie break with the family. Thought I'd stop in. Nice. What are you guys watching? Nice. Cousin Mike saying the Ford 5.4 Triton plugs do that a lot. Oh, the Triton. Dan saying I use NGKs in my Corolla and would use them in a Ford if Motorcraft wasn't available. Dan, I got NGKs in the Corolla. What is the Toyota came with Densos, and I think I had to like special order the Densos, so I was like, what's wrong with NGKs? But yeah, Mopar man, I'm very opposed to using things which I can't pronounce the names of. You know, Chris Green would say no one's gonna know. How would they ever know? Dan saying Denso's good stuff. Yeah, the Densos. I couldn't find. I mean, I found a set I think on eBay or something, but I couldn't get them just from the normal parts store. Maybe Napa. I don't go to Napa enough though. You'd be saying NGK Racing are my new go-to plugs. They're great. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm just cheap and I like my auto lights. Finish that's classic. And D's got a call it tonight. And D's, thanks for stopping in, brother. I'm stoked on the new. You know, you found a new gig and everything. Hopefully, it's not too stressful or nothing. And you know, the fact that it's a more of an office type gig. You know, you can save some energy for your own cars and everything. It doesn't take too much out of you. But I'm really stoked on that, my brother. Always glad to see you and have a great week. Check your fluids. Cousin Mike saying that's why Barrows hides inside drinking coffee. He doesn't have enough fat to keep him warm. You can have some of mine, man. I got some fat to spare now. Hubie's Garage is saying NGK and Autolites are tops these days. Yeah, I mean the 350's got Autolite 26s in it. The 235 had Autolite 308s in it for years and years and years. They treated me right. When I first got I think I ran the Autolite 303 in the 235 when I first bought the truck, and I was getting bad carbon fouling, so I went to the hotter 308s, and it never happened again. Apparently, all of a sudden, apparently NGK has been making the Volvo OEM spec anyway. They may have replaced Denso stuff. Oh, what Dan was saying. Yeah, I asked for Densos and they gave me NGKs. And I knew they were good and used them and stuck with them. Yeah, as long as they work, right? Dada Lebertana saying Beaumont is another French Quebec province. From New Brunswick up the Maine, where the super intergalactic vice grip garage, now Dee Dee's new fetish SV1 Bricklin was built. Everyone loves them cars. Dave Lewis is saying Champion went to hell after Raytheon bought them. Had an uncle that was an engineer there. No poor man saying NGKs are 2 to 3 something a piece for nickel V groove plugs. Copper core, Autolite. That's pretty cool though, Darren. I don't know much about that part of the country. I don't know much about that country at all. I need to read more about Canada and its rich histories. You be saying, Ari, that 350 you sent me had a decent 036 Echo and make sorry, Mexican spec, Echo and Mexico block, but the crap flyweight heads, a typical good wrench replacement 350. Hubie, my only thought was is that scrap the heads, and at that price, it's a 4-bolt main because it's the same block as mine. I thought it'd be kind of cool as just starting grounds for something. Just use it for the core. Scrap the flyweights, give them to somebody, give them to a passerby. But yeah, just the short block itself might be worth building off of. Heroes Garage is saying working at the mental hospital, has 2 locations in that little town. It says a lot about Oregon. Yeah, that's cool. They have facilities like that, though. Here people just find a corner to yell on. Phoebe's Garage is saying it was sad to see Champion go in the toilet. Yeah, that's kind of a shame. I mean, it's pretty cool. Classic brand. Jabo saying auto lights are good. Champions have gone downhill. See, Jabo trusts the auto lights. Hubie's Garage is saying basically 200 for a block. I didn't think it was too bad, Hubie. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was too bad, but you know me and the hoarding. It's like, wouldn't you want a place to put the engine and work on it, Ari? I'm not even like cart before the horse. I'm like sitting there with a bale of alfalfa. Like maybe I'll get a horse or a cart or something. All of San Champion's been gone bad since I was like 8. Cousin Mike's hitting the hay, saying long day. Take care, everyone. Cousin Mike, thanks so much for stopping in, brother. Hope you have a good night. I'm looking forward to the Potato Museum video. Although I would like to go in person first. I don't want too many spoilers. But just the same, I'm going to check it out. UB's Garage is saying Mexican spec. Yes, there are decent blocks. Many machinists like the 036 block. Ed likes them too. One poor man saying if you live in an area that does emissions tests and your vehicle's engine uses 14 millimeter plugs, use the 2000 plus Jeep 4.0 NGK plugs. Put out less emissions. Tall John did a test on his Slant 6 Barracuda. Good old Tall John. Oh yeah, cousin Mike, check your fluids, man. There's Cadman saying white walls. Mexican specs and Hubie's garage are a lot of them around. Anything that got a V8 got the 350. No other V8 was available. Olive's been wondering what happened to Tall John. Does he still have a channel? Olive, what happened is he had the channel. It was kind of going slow, and then folks found out that he is in fact Solomon Grundy from Scooby Doo, and he kind of caught a little more fame. So he's still doing the channel. No, I'm kidding. Tall John's been doing videos as long as I can remember. QB's garage is saying even ACs aren't like they were. It's sad day when they stopped making the 44S plug. Yeah, QB, I tried the Delcos in the 235 and they it just seemed unhappy. It didn't like them. So I went back to the auto lights. Happy days. QB's garage is saying I'm trying to figure if all 036s are full bolt 4 bolts. Makes you wonder if they're like the 010 with 2 bolts and 4 bolt mains. I mean, knowing the mystery of the GM, there's probably both, but would it be cool to have another 4 bolt main, especially for that price? And I mean, even if the cylinders are a little glazed, you could bore it over and start, bottom up building something a little more performance based than my old stock thing. It's just a thought. I really should probably focus on different things, but you know, bless my heart. Meteor Montcalm, Lemoyne. That is so much. That is more French than I've spoken my entire life. Le Meteor Montcalm. It's like the friggin' Mercury Jean Pierre. Dave Lewis is saying, pull the pan to be sure, no rhyme or reason, 2 or 4 bolt. I'll trust Dave. UB's Garage is saying, did some serious research on the 010 and found there's no way to tell if it's a 2 or 4 bolt unless you drop the pan. Yeah, see, that's two of my good sources right there saying the same thing. So, BNR saying, I heard the Mexican SBC is better cast iron. I mean, I really like the one I have. It just runs like hell. It's pretty damn nice. Yeah, it's saying, wee wee, baguette. I think a local older man has one. I know someone who has a Galaxy 500, which is basically the same. Dan saying my old Cougar was probably a 289. Vin said F302, but the breather lid said 289. I forget how to tell the difference. There's like a difference in the deck or something like that. I don't know. I don't know my small block Fords too well. I like them. I just don't know them too well. Mexican spec saying, Dan, it's easier to switch out the air cleaner than the whole engine. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Chris Greenaway is asking if pineapple belongs on pizza or no. No, 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 it doesn't. Girls Garage is saying, Hubie, yeah, I've come across a few 010 blocks that are 2 bolt. That never really mattered to me. Destroyer 1320 is in the chat. What's going on, man? How are you? Saying hit the like. Thanks, brother. And saying the stroke is different. The only SPF that looks any different is a 351W. A Windsor. It's taller. Hubie's Garage is saying someone did a video saying that the 010 came with a 1/4 inch oil galley plug above the timing cover, 4 bolt main, but I debunked that one. Flint Blocks did the plugs at Tonawanda, and Tonawanda did not. Jeez. Buff Del Capo saying, I thought the 289 was gone after 67 in the Cougar. Destroyer is wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, brother. Thanks so much for stopping in, man. I hope all is well over yonder. I'm sure it is. Mexican Spec saying, Danny Boyd, please go to my Instagram and tell me if the 71 Mustang I posted has a Windsor or Cleveland. I don't know the difference. Danny Boyd saying they probably don't talk about the 289s because they assume it's a 302, I guess. Donna Leberton is saying that the 289 is red, and I think the 302 was blue. Now, don't get me started on Ford Blue. There's like, what is there, like 7 Ford Blues? There's the old, there's corporate blue, the old dark Ford Blue. There's Ford Blue, and then there's the new Ford Blue, which is like lighter, slightly. Oh my God. I think I have trauma. Every time I picked up a spray can in that friggin' hot rod shop, hell followed. Danny Boyd saying, I can't see Instagram because I don't have an account. Dan, now's your time. Now's your time to start a new habit, man. Buff Del Campo saying the 289 of my 67 Cougar was dark Ford blue. Yeah, that's a good color, Buff. But I like it more than the subsequent lighter Ford blues. Danny Boyd saying a Windsor will have valve covers which are perfectly rectangular, while the Cleveland covers have some different shapes to them. Mexican Spec saying engines were weird colors in Mexico. My 225 slant 6 is black. That's kind of cool. B&R saying they're all a-holes, already restoration shop owners. Yeah. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm always like of the. I don't claim. I don't know anything. You know what I mean? I'm nobody. I have a whole world to learn. I'm a good worker though, so if I have decent direction, you know what I mean, I can get a lot done. I don't. I don't understand how much. How much knowledge I was supposed to have on the subject, considering my pay rate. Not a Leberton is saying midnight blue. Midnight. Why don't you leave me alone? Dave Lewis is saying the 1/8 pipe plug above the timing cover is for oiling the air brake compressor on larger trucks. Good chance it's a 4 bolt. It's to be considered. Danny Boyd saying I think the Cleveland has a thermostat housing like a small block Chevy. Rose Garage is saying in the Fairlane it was blue as well. I think it's a year thing for Ford Red. The only thing I've seen the Ford Red on was 6 cylinders. And saying there was an early Ford engine blue which looked like grabber blue, and then there's a Ford engine dark blue starting in '68. Yeah, I like that darker one a lot. I think I've seen it was like a 460 in a Lincoln that was that color blue, and it looked nice. No poor man saying, "Yep, don't paint the inside of the air cleaner." Oh my god! Oh. It's just Again, I don't claim any kind of insane intelligence or anything, but sometimes people are so dumb it just makes your head hurt. Heady. Girls garage is saying, but I like the Ford Red. It's really close to Rust-Oleum Regal Red, and that stuff is way cheaper. Donna Leberton is saying 289 had auto light and 302 have NGK. Uh, I gotta look it up. What is the? Because it's like, let's see if I can find it. NGK name. No, that's pulling up some like Bollywood actor. That's different. What does NGK stand for? Spark plugs. Come on. It's gonna come up. It's like this really long Japanese name. Where is it? It's not coming. I don't want to be on my phone during a live stream. Uh, QB's Garage is saying, "All right, did not know those new Amazon delivery trucks were Rivians. Looks like some serious job security to me." Yeah, I haven't gotten to work on one yet, Hubie. Well, that's a good look. I haven't gotten to work on one yet, Hubie, but they're called Chinooks, I believe, and they do have parts around. I watched the guys from Illinois come down and assemble a couple of them, and yeah, they're pretty cool. They're a little funky looking. Um, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about how they're built, but they're pretty cool. I get a kick out of it, you know what I mean? Especially, down here in South County, I see a lot of Rivians cruising around. I'm just looking at them like, hey, put those together, you know? But I haven't gotten to throw together one of the Chinooks yet. I'm looking forward to it because I know they're going to start getting us into doing it, and it should be a lot of fun. Spencer's drink reviews and chugs is in the chat. Howdy, Spencer. How are you, brother? EB's Garage is saying Dave Lewis. Yes, my bad though. 1/8 pipe, 1/8 inch pipe plug. We have a 2-bolt 010 with the plug and found out that the plug was proprietary to the foundry in Flint. Buff Del Campo saying the 351 Windsor engine has valve covers that look like tall 302 valve covers. Dada Leberton is saying just paint the inside of the air cleaner if you're going to flip the lid. I'm in to be in the audience. Can't ding for crap. What did I miss here? Paint Namer saying not going to kamikaze. Oh, that's pretty damn good, Paint Namer. Hey, Gary Dryden is in the chat. He's saying, hey, RN gang, salute. What's going on, Gary? How are you, brother? Anything cool up? I gotta find it. It's like it's such a long. It got bought by a new company, so it's bringing me out. It's bringing me like Nippon Gaishi Kaisha. Like, I'm sorry, but Grandpa would not approve. Chris Cadman saying thought Ari was bald. I, I, I got a couple more years, Chris. Supposed to be like up there like that. That's how it's supposed to look, but it's like not like that. Kind of like a hipster Wolverine look right now. Uh, UB's Garage is saying I was at a stoplight and 21 Amazon Rivians pulled out of the delivery depot. It was pretty amazing. Yeah, they look pretty cool. They're funky looking. It's like they're almost cartoonish, but I mean, if you look at them, they got a really low deck. They're pretty functional. The battery pack gives them kind of a lower center of gravity. It's yeah, I mean they're pretty cool. I don't know. I try to stay open minded about it. It's like I'm working on them. I don't want to, I don't want to completely write it off. UB's Garage is I probably missed any talk of Dee Dee's Bricklin purchase. Have one of those 351 Cleveland or Windsors. UB, it did get mentioned earlier. Darren was talking about the Bricklin factory. If I'm not mistaken. Chris Cadman saying hippie. Saying I documented all my work in a notebook daily, turned in, made a copy for myself, documented all work for another mechanic too. That's something I always have trouble with is keeping track of everything I've done. So I tend to try to write it down. Luckily, it's like I have a laptop at work now. Um, so I just check things off as I go, and I'm able to do it that way. Bruce Culkin's in the chat saying Mexican spec, it looks like a Windsor. Isn't a Cleveland the more desirable engine though? Well, poor man's talking about Scary Movie too. Dada Leberton saying Amazon trucks, seriously? Are they Fiat or Latvia brand? Yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't know. I like I said, I'm really excited to work on one or build one because they're kind of bigger, a little more heavy duty. Might be something different. I don't know. UP's Garage is saying we had a really clean orange Bricklin at the end of the street years ago. Looks like DD has had his hands full on this one. I don't watch a lot of DD Speed Shop. You know what I mean? After all of their detest for Chevy six cylinders, I don't know. It's just like my heart's still kind of hurt. I expect probably a formal apology. I don't know if it has to be written. I mean, I guess they do videos, so I would need a video apology, but then I would want one handwritten as well. For them abandoning so many Chevy six cylinders. No, I'm kidding. I don't watch a lot of. I've been barely watching YouTube. I don't even. What it's been like 2 weeks since I uploaded a short. You know what I mean? I've been out of it. So Buff Del Campo saying Cleveland heads are great, but I've had Windsors that really run. Dave Lewis is saying 6-bolt Windsor, 9 bolts Cleveland on the valve covers. That's a pretty easy way to figure it out. Huh? Olive's saying there was a Bricklin in my town. I don't even know what a Bricklin was. You got to look up a damn Bricklin. You guys are talking about. Y'all are talking about foreign cars again. I don't understand. Bricklin. Oh God. No, 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 no. This is like, what is this? A Canadian DeLorean? No gull wings. I don't do gull wings. This is all wrong. Mexican spec. I'm working out in Tustin over here. I'm working building prototype Rivians. On Tony's Tech Talk, we got mentioned, and I realized that you still thought I was working at the diesel shop, but I'm not. QB's Garage is saying a few years back, a 351 Windsor with Cleveland heads was a pretty hot ticket for the Ferd guys. Bruce Colgan saying I have a whack of Clevelands. Mexican spec saying I don't watch channels that destroy perfectly good cars. What did he do? He chopped up a four door or something. Everybody was mad at him for it. Olive's saying, "I really wanted a DeLorean when they'd gotten uncool and cheap." That's just the Irish in you, Olive. You want you need the DeLorean. No, I'm kidding. No, they're cool cars, you know what I mean? Like, that's an interesting looking car for sure. Definitely not my style, but pretty damn cool just the same. Donna Lebertana saying a local guy had a daily driver, green Bricklin SV1 for the past 15 years. Never had problems with maintenance. Yeah. Mexican specs asking if the diesel shop hit me with a drone too. Uh, Stupid drones. I still That's still just got to be the dumbest thing. You know, Hubie, I might take you up. I might have to give your lawyer a call, man. Uh, Hubie's garage is saying Mexican spec actually is trying to repair this one and get it presentable again. Another two YouTube channels have owned it, including Vice Grip Garage. Oh my sweet lord. Andy Ward saying I like the two-door conversion. I just don't watch DD anymore because he never finishes a car past rat rod looking condition. Dan, why do you watch my channel then? No engine. I don't expect it to run more than a day at a time. All I'm saying, yep, factory. They cut down a fairy tree for the DeLorean. The company never prospered. They do travel in time. Renault way. Danny Boyd saying you stick with the same truck. I sure as hell do, man. Don't change a damn thing on it. Bruce Koken saying a turbo. Oh, the 400 crank takes a lot of machine work and Malroy metal to balance. UB's garage is saying DD scraped a rough 56 sedan delivery to use as a repair to use to repair his 55 Nomad. It pissed some people off. Oh, scrapped it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, donor cars are kind of a thing. It's a shame, but in the same breath, it's like, one good car is better than two useless cars, right? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really keep up. I barely, like I said, I'm behind on Tony's videos. I'm behind on cousin Mike's videos. I don't know if Barrows is putting anything out. I watch his. I think Hubie, I caught the shorts you put out in the last the Berryman's video, but you did one after that where you're putting the carb together, and I missed that one. So yeah, I'm just lingering over here, just in the background. All I'm saying, like Click and Clack said, people who believe in karma drive Peugeots because they know if they drive a French car, no further harm can befall them. I like it. And saying, but I can make a car look good, real good. It's easy with Bondo and Rust-Oleum. Do it with a welder and sprayer if I had them and learned to use them, which I could. No poor man is saying, Ari, I know you mentioned you've been busy, but I did a very short video of a truck almost like yours. We are driving up on the highway. You text me about that too, man. I didn't even get back to you. See, it's not even like a bad YouTuber. I'm just a shitty person at this point. New Guys Guitars in the chat. What's going on, New Guys? How you doing, man? You jamming it up? Hubie's Garage is saying he also cut the roof off of a rough 57 four-door hardtop and made a convertible out of it. I mean, like I said, it's up in the Great White North. It's a miracle that the cars didn't rust away. So it's like the fact that they're intact enough for him to do anything with them is a miracle in and of itself. New Guys Guitars just jamming nice, man. Chris Cadman's asking if I ever smoked a moose. Is that like slang for something? Is that some kind of Canadian slang? Mexicans back. What you're talking about? Like whistling Diesel or something? I don't know if DD just destroys them. Buff Del Campo saying I'm about to do some videos on a very inexpensive paint jobs and paint repair for older cars. I will watch Buff. That's another one. Buff Del Campo. I'm very behind on his videos, all of which I enjoy. So I mean, it's I don't know. Like I said, I feel like a headless chicken, especially trying to keep up with maintenance on the truck this past week. Little stuff pops up. I don't have time to do it. Dave Lewis is saying 56 sedan delivery rear panels will fit Tri 5 station wagons. Excuse me. Hubie's Garage is saying the Berryman's Chem Dip video did not do well, even though Ari did a great job assisting in it. Veros, did you get to see it? I enjoyed the video, Hubie. I mean, I guess I could see where it kind of, it's kind of an in between video. It's like a how to, I mean, it's a little bit funny, and then people watch your channel for Try Five content. It's like it's more of it's technically Holly content if you really wanted to get down to it. And yeah, I could see it's kind of in between. It doesn't really fit the niche, but you know, I was thinking of starting another channel, Hubie, just about it would be just Hubie's cat. Like, and I'll just upload videos of Hank doing his thing, but I'll put it under Hubie's cat channel. Chris Cadman saying hit a moose with a vehicle. Geez, no, that sounds horrible. Aren't they like horse sized? I've never even seen a moose. Where do you see a moose? Donna Lebertana saying the Bricklin plant was not fit for molding fiberglass with bad heating. The recalls made the company look bad, and the reputation made the government pull the plug after 2 years. Yeah, I can't imagine trying to shape fiberglass in that frigid environment. Hoth. Phoebe's Garage is saying Mexican spec. I disagree. Many of the cars he gets are saved from the crusher or cars nobody else would touch. A save is a save. BNR saying Sunday is my only free day. Did watch YouTube a lot lately, racing, engine builders, doomsday preppers. Yeah, BNR, I saw you sharing some of that doomsday stuff. It's kind of funny, the doomsday preppers, every year they get a little less crazy, it seems like. Moose outmass horses. That's terrifying. I don't want to, no, no. Stay south. Buff Del Campo saying I got side marker lights from Mexican Spec. He covered the shipping and they are great parts. Post some video of them lit up. Yes, Mexican Spec makes lights. Mexican Spec is it's kind of like a Robin Hood of sorts for the classic car owner. He's saving, not only is he saving them from the doldrums, he is making parts for them and making sure that they stay in their original form. No ashtrays in the Bricklin. Hold on, let me grab the cat for reference. He's got a star in every live stream now. Nope, nope, nope. I'm getting you. You've been got. You're captured. The people will see you. Oh. Say hi, Yubi. Look at that face, Yubi. See, come on. Look at that. Chris Cadman saying moose tastes great. Close moose encounters in Maine. Saying it tastes kind of gamey. Holdeman TC is in the chat. Holdeman, how did that trip end up going? Did you end up getting the 57 Chevy rolling again? Ah! Buff Del Campo saying your cat looks almost like my cat, Powerglide. I'm so happy you have a cat named Powerglide. Hubie, that's how far this joke has gone. There is, in fact, a cat named Powerglide now. just from me trying to gift you things that you don't want or need. He's trying to act all like angry about it, but I think he likes the camera time. He's a good cat. I don't know if I'm squinting or what, but I look kind of stoned. I'm not stoned. UB's crowd is saying, Ari, send him to Brad at Montana's garage. I'm sure Moose the cat would enjoy having a buddy. This cat, I would be so, like I would be so happy to not have a cat, but I would also miss him. I don't know how else to explain that. Mark Mopar man said, no, kitty, that's a bad kitty. All I'm saying that is a large feel. He's pretty damn big. Fat cat. They're calling you fat cat. They know. Mom's calling him a mush cat. I think that's another way of calling him fat too. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Maybe I'm just tired, bud. You look stoned. Sand Mountain Ballistics is in the chat. Howdy, Hunter. How you doing, man? Donna Leberton is saying I have hit two mooses in a deer. The last moose I bumped. Moose? Is it just moose or is it mooses? Moose? I've hit two mooses and a deer. The last moose I bumped into with my 29 diesel pusher motor motorhome flew like Super Dave and Osborne. Dave Osborne out of his cannon. His head smashed into my windshield and flew 100 feet away. Good Lord. Huey's Garage saying Brad got welding goggles from Moose and had him welding with him in one of his videos. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this cat's he's bless his heart. He's like 11 years old now. He's getting on in the years, and I think he's senile. Can cats be senile? Hunter's saying doing good. Finally got hired at a good job. How are you doing? What'd you get hired at, man? What did you get into? It's Georgia, so I'm a little worried, but I'm also excited for you. I got me a job down at the shampoo factory. They pay real good. It's right down the street from the Cracker Barrel and the Waffle House. I got somewheres to eat. Started hauling Mountain Dew. See what you're saying there. See what you did there. I met my wife at the factory too. I seen her across the factory. I said, "Hey, bitch." Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry, Hunter. Sorry, everyone. Dan saying him and his what? Dan saying before the hard time. Oh, him and his old lady have cool lives. Yeah, it's Dan and Danny, right? They're pretty cool folks. They actually popped into one of my live streams because I was talking crap about them not having any 6 cylinders. And they popped into my live stream and they're like, "Who else here hates 6 cylinders?" And everybody hates 6 cylinders. Hunter saying, but seriously, I got a job at a factory that rolls steel tubes. My job is going to be moving it with a fork truck. I start on the first. That's good work, Hunter. That's pretty bitching, man. I'm stoked for you. I know that working on hot rods and the classics and everything sure is nice, but it's not, especially for younger dudes like us that haven't been doing it for 40 years or whatever. It's not the most profitable business. So I'm glad you got into it. I'm saying that's Kansas, not Georgia. All I'm saying, don't worry, I'm not from here. Barrel's Garage is saying Hubie's Garage, that old bucket of berries sure brings back memories. Pee and pink Kool-Aid and smelling like Berryman's for 4 days. That's I didn't realize, Barrows, how strong the smell of that stuff was. Why does it smell like an old first aid kit? Did they use Berryman's in them or something? Hunter saying good benefits, a raise over what I'm doing now, and it's easier and cleaner work. The building's heated and cooled. It's a union job. Yeah, Hunter, you did good there, man. I'm glad to hear that. Plus, I mean, if you've got more stable work, you've got it's not, you've got classics. You know what I mean? It's not like you're not going to be working on old cars. It'll just give you time to fix your own stuff because you're not stuck under someone else's crap all day. Hubie's Garage is saying DD had a 6 cylinder and a 66 Biscayne that didn't run as nice as yours, Ari. He put a 350 in it and gave it away to a young YouTuber. That's pretty damn cool of him. Hubie, I still haven't. One of the guys, the folks that I was helping move with my Apache, I did a couple videos on it. One of their friends has I think an I forget the year, early '60s Chevelle, mid '60s. There's not an early '60s Chevelle. Um, that's got a 236 in it. So I think I might get a chance to mess with one of the later 6 cylinders finally. Buff Del Campo saying, well, Ari replaced his six with a V8. Yeah, yeah, it sure did. I never thought I'd see the day, but I just started working towards it. You know what I mean? I was like, I put a lot of miles on this old 6 cylinder, a lot. There's going to come a time when I need to either replace it or rebuild it. I can't afford to rebuild it. So I might as well, have something on the shelf. So I bought that 350 and, I'm really glad I did because it's in there, it's working. Hubie's Garage is saying, Barrows, yep. I was never allowed in the house after using carb dip. Ari is right. It smells like gauze. Yeah, weird. It reminds me like the old Johnson and Johnson first aid kits. It's not like it's the only two places I've ever smelled that smell too. So it's like, what is it? What does one have to do with the other? Why does the gauze smell like berry mints? Hunter saying, yep, and it's second shift, 4 to 12, so I'll be able to work on my stuff. Well, it's still daylight before work. That's pretty badass, man. Hunter saying I may change to first shift later when I get the chance, but it may be stricter, so we'll see. Yeah, man, whatever works for you. That's just cool. The union thing's cool too, depending on where you're at. But just the same. Donna Leberton saying I just sold a 25,000 miles mint GM 250 cubic inch for $200. It was a friend, so I didn't mind. Not I would have kept it. Inline engines have a little more torque per cubic inch, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure about that one, Darren. I never done the math on it. I just like inline sixes. You know what I mean? The other day I was watching some old videos of me running the truck around, and I realized, I loved that sound, that high revving 6 cylinder sound. Some people hate it, but it is very cool to me. And I don't know, but the purr of the V8 is pretty great. It's pretty badass. It's nice being a little quicker too. Buff Del Campo saying the older Chevy 6 had a weird combustion chamber. Yeah, I mean, Buff, it was just a strange machine. You got to imagine it's like that's what I cut my teeth on, and it's just such, you know what I mean? It's not the easiest machine for someone who's just beginning to get into. Hunter saying I like cleaning carbs with pine sol and a hot plate. It sounds a little bit better than the Berryman's. May not work as well, but it sounds a little more forgiving. Paint namer saying I like working second shift because I'm a night owl and they pay more. I don't mind. I missed one from BNR. Pontiac overhead cam 6, 1966 to 69 is a good inline six. Sorry. I've never even seen one of those, Brian. Old man's talking about Mountain Dew. It's Mexican spec. It's 8.49 where I'm at. 8.49. PM, obviously. Bless my heart. Buff Del Campo saying the Pontiac overhead cam six or six cylinders are cool, but almost impossible to find parts. Yeah, I've never even seen one of those. You'd be saying GMC sure has a lot of inline six engine. I worked on 248 Jimmy and our 54 one-ton panel rescue truck. Yeah, they had a few they had some odd sized ones that were a different design, and then they had a really huge displacement for the heavier trucks. Hunter saying I hate the 200 Ford six cylinders. Those things are so weak. Hunter, that 235 I had, I mean, it was one of those things. It would be like weak and slow, but then you would have a full load, some heavy ass crap. I'm moving around a piano with the thing and it feels exactly the same. So it's like there was power there. It just was like really, low, even keel power. But people hot rod them too and stuff. I don't, again, I don't see the potential there. UB's Garage is saying, don't forget, Ari, I own two 235 inline sixes and yes, a cast iron power slide. Paid $50 for the one 235 and the power glide together. Yeah, Hubie, I mean that's going to be a cool deal. But you were saying you don't want to keep that four door as a six cylinder car, but you like keeping things original too. So it's like, but I guess you could swap your 283 in and still use the old. I don't know how that would work because the bell housing is different. Yeah, I don't know, but still, you know what I mean. I love the engine, I really did. It's just the sound and everything. Especially, I always wanted to split the exhaust. I never got a chance to, but I love that inline six sound. Oh yeah, cast the integral manifold. I hate that, man. Opar man saying, Dan, you see my post? Y'all still talking about Mountain Dew. Donna Leberton is saying, isn't there a way to attach two inline sixes together to make a straight 12? I know they do it all the time with V8s and special adapters. How the hell are they pulling six V8s on a tractor puller? I have no idea, my friend. I'm saying I worked on a 67 Tempest Sprint overhead cam 6 2 years ago while working at Corvette Mike's Downers Grove. Drove nice on my channel. On my channel. I have to check that out, brother. I haven't seen that. Hunter saying, I know an old timer that loves the 200s, but at work there was this six cylinder Mustang we built back stock with a C4, and the morons added AC, and it is a turd. Would barely go 45 miles per hour. Maybe something was up with that, Hunter. Maybe you guys skipped something or another. Arrows Garage saying, Hubie's very good vid series, man. I dig the hazmat. He didn't do too bad on it either. That one might be a slow burn and fuse. Maybe. I looked and one of my shorts was I was replacing my tie rod into the parking lot, and that one had like 9,000 views. I'm like, okay, where the hell did that come from? Dean Stevenson saying the 292 Chevy, same kind of plug hole of doom. Buff is saying that I had a friend with overhead cam Pontiac sixes and several cars. He built a lot of them. I called him a few months ago looking for parts. He said he got rid of them all because of parts issues. BNR saying the Pontiac overhead cam 6 was made to compete with Jaguar's overhead cam 6. Hey, Foggy's in the chat. Foggy, did you get a chance to listen to that Louis Jordan song, Saturday Night Fish Fry? Every time someone says fish fry, I think of that song. Mexican Spec saying, I've never seen Mountain Dew in Mexico. Mexican Spec, I had a Fresca yesterday. I had a bowl of Menudo and a Fresca yesterday. Pretty damn good. Foggy, probably too slow for you, man. I know you like heavier music, but still kind of a classic. Firebird. Oh, Danny Boyd saying BNR Racing. Gonna try to remember to check that out. Kid in my hometown stuck a Monza 5 speed and a Firebird behind the overhead. It had been a 3 speed. Boggy saying love the metal, but classic is cool. Yeah, man, I listen to a bunch of weird music. There's no rhyme or reason at all. I like some metal too. But I don't know, I like dad metal. I listen to like Pentagram and like Saint Vitus, stuff like that. I do not drink Mountain Dew. I don't, I know this is one of those things people get like upset about. I don't drink Mountain Dew. I do not like it. I also don't like Chick-fil-A. No, I don't like it. Don't tell me what to order there. Don't tell me what's different. If you have to find a way around, no, I don't like Chick-fil-A. The underground shit. Yeah, yeah, fuck it. Ad Zero's got some great stuff. He plays. He's always sharing good music. As long as I've known him, he's shared good music with me. Uh, Mexican Hunter saying Mexican spec. It was built exactly like it was from the factory, but the engine was 30 over. Kickdown worked and still factory carb. It gets stronger once it breaks in. Those engines are too weak for AC, and it had electric fans, power steering, power brakes. Dan saying, too bad I already have a recipe for a damn good chicken sandwich. No, 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 no. See, Dan, I love chicken sandwiches. I love fried chicken. I'm passionate about fried chicken. I just don't like Chick fil A. Mexican spec. We used to have a chain of gas stations called QT Quick Trip. They had a machine that would make Coca Cola and Mountain Dew slushies. Mountain Dew slushy. That sounds like you're going to get Mountain Dew mouth. Hunter saying it was so weak I had to add a vacuum canister because when you hit the brake pedal, it would kill the engine because it didn't produce enough vacuum. Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, maybe something was off with that rebuild, man. That doesn't sound right. I mean, they're weak, but not that weak. What the hell? Danny Boyd saying politically motivated hate for Chick Fil A. No, no, it's purely. I don't want to get into it. Purely food related. I don't care what kind of you know if they support any kind of genocide, whatever it is, that's fine. It's about the chicken, and the chicken is not what it's about. I'm freezing. See, the computer's freezing. Mopar man saying we had a Bucky's open up in Springfield, Missouri. Went the other day and had two cut up brisket and scrambled egg burritos and a cherry icy. Mopar man, how the hell do you eat stuff like that and stay all thin, man? QB's Garage is asking if I ever had a chicken fried steak with white gravy breakfast burrito from Yellow Basket. Probably better than ham and scram. No, but that sounds unreal. That's Hubie, the Yellow Basket closed, at least the one that was on Edinger and Grand. I think you'd probably have to go down to Wilmington or Carson to get a yellow basket. Maybe Lawndale or something. I don't know. After saying, ran like a sewing machine. I even had my dad come in and tune the engine for the boss. He timed it as high as he could on 93 and adjusted the carburetor, and it helped, but gosh, it was weak. Well, like if Pops had a look at it, I mean, he would probably know if there was something up, you know. Dean saying, "Are glitching?" I'm glitching while I'm talking about chicken. Uh, Hunter saying, "Man, 65 Mustangs are terrible cars. I can see Ken Miles was talking about. They ride like garbage." Main and Dyer. I don't know. Let me look it up, Hugh. If it's still there, I got to try the burrito. Yeah, it's still there. I gotta go. I gotta go experience this chicken fried steak breakfast burrito. Thank you. Try this. Interesting. I don't like the engine builder. He can't tune worth crap and uses a timing light, but I think he's having someone else build the engine. He's not too bright. Hunter, that sounds like my old boss. You'd be saying those breakfast burritos put me in the recliner for an entire day. Yeah, Hubie, ham and scram's kind of its own thing, I guess. You know what I mean? There probably is a better breakfast burrito out there, but the ham is, I don't know. I don't even like ham that much. I just like ham and scram. Uh, Bless my heart. Maybe I could talk to them about being a channel sponsor once I get a little bit bigger. Donna Liberton's asking what the gas prices are around your guys' place, your guys' places, guys. I hear it's a 150 a liter. I don't know what a liter is. No, I'm just kidding. It's right down here. It's about $5 a gallon. I looked in it. I think it was 483 today, which means probably in the more normal parts of the county, it's probably high threes or low fours. So yeah, a little tiny bit less, I guess, than up there. Paint neighbor saying I stopped at a Bucky's for the first time driving down to Georgia. I did not walk around too much. I wanted to get driving. I feel you there, paint neighbor. I'm always so focused on getting places, you know. Let's stop and look around a little bit. Just a little bit. Mexican spec, you never ate it? Yellow Basket? It's a chain down here between, I guess, I didn't know there was any in Orange County, but I guess there were two in Santa Ana, and there's a good few in South LA. Hubie's Garage is saying, I wonder how old Ray is doing. Hubie, I mean, I don't know. It's probably one of those things where we'll drive by there and it's, it's now it's a warehouse and, they're shipping stuff out of it. It's not a shop anymore. Buff Del Campo saying, because I like the small Ford 6s, 144, 170, 200, and 250. I don't know. I mean, I guess it just depends how you run them. I drove the hell out of that little 6 cylinder and I just worked with it. Donna Leverton saying 259 a gallon. Dave, that's pretty badass. I'm a little bit jealous, man. If it was 259 a gallon here, I would install the Holly. Hubie's Garage is saying you need to get that carb back. The AFB. At this point, I'd rather just buy one, Hubie. Hunter saying Bucky sucks. Don't waste your time going there. Can't even walk around in there. It's so packed. Hunter, that's how it was when I went to the Cracker Barrel. I could barely buy my moon pies. Hubie's Garage saying probably right. Yeah, it annoys the hell out of me that it's just sitting there. I should have grabbed it. I don't know, but there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of stuff just sitting there in that shop. So I mean, I guess it fits right in. Buff saying I'm not all that happy. Regular was 151 a gallon 2 years ago. Dan saying I try not to eat any gas station food anymore. I used to be a bold man with the gas station food. Gas station egg salad. Hunter saying I've been running E85 in my truck. It's 225 a gallon. Still not cheap if you ask me. All I'm saying I have a weird liking for racetrack burgers and tinfoil. They remind me of something I can't place, I guess. Cheeseburgers are just a beautiful thing. I went to In and Out today and they got their double burger. It's just two patties, but I got a 3x3 because I'm fat, and it was pretty amazing. Like the addition of the extra, I mean, just the extra slice. There's a slice of cheese on every one of those patties too. So the amount of cheese and the grilled onions, it was pretty damn amazing. Hell, I might go get another one after this. Lefto Campo's saying, Peyton Hammer, where are you? I lived on Geneva on the lake for 15 years. Buff's been everywhere. Interesting. I thought about converting my car to run on E85, but there's only one pump in town and it's always going out. Chagrin Falls, Shaggin Falls. Paint namer. It's going to be Shaggin Falls from now on. I'm sorry. I'm going to grab a water, guys. 2 seconds. Ari DeBerni will be right back after this brief message. Super clean. Super clean. It's in a purple container and it cleans things. Sorry. Ooh, it was drying out. Donna Lebertana saying the thing is we have our own effing fuel refinery in New Brunswick. Irving Fuel Canada has one of the biggest oil productions in all of North America, and we still pay 423 US a gallon. Yeah, I mean, I'm right with you there, Darren. I mean, we got all kinds of rigs off the coast. We used to produce a lot of oil here in Orange County, especially out of Huntington Beach, where I'm from. And Huntington Beach, I don't know if there's some kind of like, I don't know if it's a city thing or what. Gas tends to be a little bit cheaper there than here, and I'm about 20 minutes away, so I don't know why it's so much damn more expensive. It is usually about $1 more. It's the same thing as if I'm in Hubie's area and I go 10 minutes west. The gas will be almost $1 cheaper per gallon. Excuse me, guys. Girls Garage is saying Sand Mountain Ballistics. I'd love to do that. Do what Thumper the Sweaty Fat Guy does and make my own. It's legal in Idaho to distill for fuel. I really need to dig deeper into that. That's true, brother Bear. Especially all you got like unlimited access to potatoes. Be running all the cars on vodka. They sell crude oil to Maine an hour away, then buy it back. Yeah, Hunter, he totally. Thumper makes his own fuel. Thumper's a badass. I really like that dude. He's funny as hell too. He was talking about Chevy small blocks and he called them little, what is it, sad orange lumps. I don't know why I was so entertained by that. Paul Pajui's in the chat. What's going on, Paul? He's saying gas is 289 for regular in Massachusetts right now. That ain't bad, man. Like I said, it's 4.83 here, and I'm grateful for that. I don't know if you guys remember 2 months ago, I was paying 6.67 a gallon. I did a video about it, not about it, but it was featured in a video. Andy Boy saying, get a container of homemade chili out of the freezer for tomorrow and be making my own fuel, methane this time. Buff Del Campo saying, I remember that price. Yeah, no, Buff. That's excessive. And if I'm not mistaken, a year before that, it was even more expensive for a while. And that's when I would have people siphoning my fuel and stuff because my fuel cap does lock, but I don't the key to it's lost somewhere in the ages. But yeah, it was even more expensive than that. About $7 a gallon, close to it at least. That was rough. I was making a lot less money back then too. DNR saying I bought 2 sets of Quick Fuel E85 metering block kits. Sorry, gotta post a video soon on them. You have to use a Holly 4150 double pumper carburetor. Dave Lewis is saying nitro is about 75 a gallon. Damn, son. Hunter's asking Barrows Garage, what is your opinion of the red stuff you use to line your gas tank? Does it last pretty long? I'm unenlightened. Paul Pejui saying I was paying $469 for premium in September. That's still not cheap. None of it's that cheap, you know what I mean? But it's like more, you know what I mean? It can make a difference. Like it makes a difference whether you want to eat better that day or not. You know what I mean? You saying time to use hydrazine. Girl's Garage is saying so far so good on it, but you have to prep the ever living heck out of the tank to get it to stick. Probably have around $150 into restoring that Merc tank. I guess if you can't find the tank though, it might be worth it. All saying it's down to 369 now. That ain't bad. I miss those gas prices. That's like 5 years ago down here. Paint neighbor saying when I got to Georgia at the end of November, the gas in Georgia was about 260. And December 1st, the gas tax was reinstated, and some stations jacked up to 325. Said it ain't bad. Our Sandine, it's going up. It's a miracle it has stayed down all of 2023. Realistically, should be $20 per gallon, all going on global. Good old Doomsday Brian. BNR Racing, where every day is Doomsday. Donald Leberton is saying it was costing me $230 Canadian to fill my 66 Star Chief Executive. Gas was up to 625 US per gallon. Yeah, exactly. It's insane, man. It is absolutely insane. I don't know. I just drive less. You know what I mean? Like people call me to, hey, come out, check this out. Hey, come have a beer with us or something. Yeah, nah. Good. I just hide in the house. Uh, Contrary to some rhetoric, domestic production is more than adequate. Hunter saying I bought a KBS lining kit off of Amazon for $80. Came with rust blasted greaser and then and a liner, And I did my Mustang and Pontiac tank. That stuff dries hard. I'm thinking maybe some of the best on the market, and it's USA made. KBS lining kit. I'm gonna check that out, Hunter. Ryan saying the U.S. military has little jet fuel. Barrow's Garage is saying if it was a Cougar or a Fairlane, I'd never do it. I just fork out the extra 75 for a new tank with the sending unit. Yeah, if they don't make what you're dealing with, you got to work with what you got. I need to buy a fuel tank for the Dart. Actually, the one that was in there was bad. It was real bad. I was like, no, I could probably flush it out. And then I poked a hole in it with my finger, and I was like, okay, no, I can't do that. Hunter saying all you have to do is knock the loose rust out. Came out cheaper in Hunter's case because the tank for his Star Chief is 600 just for the tank and 300 for the Mustang. 600, it's steep, man. I guess that's not the most common car though. And saying poor Puritan YouTube has no farting emojis. Buff is saying we're lucky. Someone replaced the tank in the Valiant before we got it. Yeah, Buff. I feel like those old. I don't know if it's just the Mopars or the A bodies or what, but they don't age very well. I know At Zero had to replace his. Yubi's Garage is saying that one of our Try 5 guys did a video on why he never buys used gas tanks. He cut one in half and made a compelling argument. Yeah, no, the one in the Dart was bad, real bad. There was like a rusty, scaly sediment in the bottom of it. And yeah, like I said, there was a portion that was super rusted, and I just poked it and poked a hole into the gas tank. I don't know how it managed to do that. Saying E85 will work on tractors like my 1952 Alice Chalmers WD501, static up to 1501. Need E85 port injection or E85 carburetor, or quick fuel E85 metering blocks kit. Huh. Hunter's saying I didn't have any issues till a couple weeks after I ran race gas at No Name Nationals, the No Shame Nationals. Someone gave you water and told you it was race gas, water and vinegar. Barrels Garage is saying, Hunter, careful with that though. I did that on my Triumph tank and it did stay hard, but it broke off in sheets and fell off the walls. It was a pain in the ass to clean out and redo it. Damn, son. Buff Del Campo is saying, Kim dropped the tank to install a new sender and the tank still looked new inside. That's pretty rad. Saying Thumper has a configuration set up Quadrajet E85, but he never said all the specific internal mods. That would be a cool one to try. Suppose you could, Dan, but that would be a pain in the ass. I'll pay the $200, man. Donna Leberton saying, I don't know what is your minimum wage here, but it got up to 14 Canadian an hour, 11 US. I make 40 US as a nurse. Being a single father of two girls, I still watch my budget to pay for food. Yeah, shit, there. That's it's not easy, is it? Out here in California, minimum wage I think just went up to 16 something this year, 16 US. depending on where you are in the state. I know up towards Northern California and San Francisco, it's slightly higher. But a lot of, I mean, it's the same kind of thing. You can make good money and still kind of struggle just because of the cost of living out here, which is a little bit sad. Where I am in South Orange County, 100 to 125,000 a year is considered low income, and I learned that working for UPS because a lot of the drivers making top rate would make between 78, closer to 100,000 a year, depending on if they hustled or not, how they worked the job, and it kind of pissed us off because it's again, you know what I mean. It's like you work at a company for the better part of a decade, and you're still living somewhere where you're considered a low income resident. Kind of strange. Sand Mountain Ballistic Sand Barrel is good to know. I took my time and cleaned the tank several times, then dried it out with a heat gun. Don't let the rust stuff stay in for a few days. Etch the tank. It was pretty clean. Olive, you can get some new A body tanks though. They're good. They've got that coating on them and everything, and they're not very expensive. And I think I can get them from O'Reilly too. So I'll even get my. I get for the Iranian price. I get very good price. Uh, let's see. Only hard part is provisions for the lock ring seal sender. It'd be a pain in the ass, Dan. I don't feel like fabricating anything, man. Even with a planishing hammer and an English, that'd be a pain in the ass. uh, I was saying try eating a box of biscuits, a box of mixed biscuits. Tried E85 in the 63 Grand Prix a few years ago, testing 65% E85 max mix I could do on gasoline Holly meter. Dave is saying E85 loves high compression or turbos. I would love to do some turbos on the truck. QB's Garage is saying Mickey D's here starts at 16.50 an hour. They can't get new hires. Well, not nowadays, Hubie. Del Taco, especially like right after the pandemic and everything, they were paying 19 or 20. I mean, they probably laid those people off within a month or two, but just the same, they were trying. Uh, Girls Garage is saying Sand Mountain Ballistics dump about a pint of or so of acetone in the tank to flash dry it. Only takes a few minutes and you're ready for the sealer. Nice. We're saying about one set of E85 quick fuel metering blocks for the 70 TA, second set for the 63 Grand Prix. Donna Lepreton saying, well, I got to go fill my wood furnace. Most of you guys from the South probably never had to deal with home heating. You want to stay fit? You need a wood pile. You need to pile wood 7 times from time to cut it to burn. Oh, geez, man. I'd lend a hand if I could, brother. But have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you have a great week out there. Hope it's not too hectic. Stay safe. Try to stay warm. Check your fluids, man. Yeah, I'm right here at 2 hours. I'll probably go on for a few more minutes, though. I'm enjoying the conversation. Hubie saying they shot themselves in the foot. Never eat at Mickey D's. No, no, me either. My son likes it, but I really, really, really try to avoid eating there, especially after the whole human DNA thing. You know what I mean? It's like if I'm going to eat people, I'll make sure to hunt them myself. Arsene Barrows always has good tips. He certainly does. He's giving me a lot of good advice. Mexican specs. Wife made potato soup tonight. It's pretty good, or it's really good. Nice, man. That's badass. One poor man saying a lot of people have become lazy. So you watch one person on TikTok complain she couldn't make ends meet, but had high dollar nails job or nails job done, expensive smartphone, etc. Yeah, yeah. People. I mean, a lot of people don't spend well. They don't really save, and they prioritize their purchases and stuff like that. I mean, I'm probably guilty myself. You know what I mean? But I do all right. UB's garage is saying my brother-in-law dropped and had one big getting firewood for the winter. Uh, oh, dropped and had the big one cutting firewood for the winter. Luckily, he got a couple of stints and is still with us. Jeez, yeah, thank goodness, thank God. That's that's not a great situation there. Jeez. Darren saying I'll probably come back after my girls are sleeping, and it's the only parent time I enjoy. Car guys chat. I'm with you, man. I don't do a whole much, especially not socially. You know what I mean? I'll every now and then I'll go see Hubie. Um, I haven't really, visited my buddies much lately. I've been trying to get out there, but I don't have the damn time. Uh, Not much, man. I'm right with you. Hubie's crowd just saying up the human DNA thing, whether true or false, is a deal breaker for me. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm pretty damn good on the smoker. I could probably make people taste great, but processed people just sounds horrible. I'm going to hell. Hunter saying, I know it being RFI, I can't find a long tail transmission. I'll just use it like a 62 Corvette T10 short shaft, since that's basically what they came with, but it'll have to get a longer drive shaft that way. Hunter, I wish you were around here, man. I got a Saginaw I could give you with a Hurst shifter on it. It's the same dimensions as the T10. Hope our man saying we're complaining about the 9 to 5 work schedules too much. Yeah, a lot of people have issues with the works 9 to 5 is bankers hour. How is she going to complain about bankers hours? St. Sam Mountain Earth Corvettes, T10, not likely to hold up the C1 Corvette, a light car, 2,800 pounds. Actually, low torque compared to the Pontiac 389. Gary Dryden saying, hope y'all are having a great day. It's been a great one, Gary. It was a really mellow day. I helped my pops with a few things. I helped a couple people get their cars running and moved. They were repaving the parking lot over here, so they were towing folks, and everybody's got cars that have been sitting since God knows. So, it was a pretty good day. I hope you're doing well too, Gary. I hope it's everything chill over there. Anything new happen? Possible. I just know the 62 vet transmissions are easy to find. QB's Grider saying I would not put it past them. Corporations do weird stuff to boost profits. Jack and the Crack had the horse meat moniker for years. I wouldn't mind. Why is everybody so uppity about the meat they eat? I would eat some horse. Who cares? Danny Boyd saying Muncie. Olive saying Muncie would also be a good kitty name. Cats named after transmissions. uh, Hunter saying a four speed is going to be the cherry on top, I think. Like I said, Hunter, I wish I could give you this damn Saginaw. I've got it on offer up for what I consider a damn good price. And I mean, I've had probably a dozen people bother me about it. No one comes to buy the damn thing. No one. Dowd Leverton saying my cat is teaching this young fur neighbor kids use a litter box and hunting rats outside. I heard they put a litter box at his local school for real. What is going on? You talking about those Thestral kids, or you am I not getting the joke? Richmond Gear Super T10 bought from Summit Racing. B&R's got some expensive tastes. Mrs. Buffalo Compost and have a Mongolian friend. He misses horse meat, and they make beer out of horse milk. I mean, nowadays it might be a good option. I read some article about them culling like 14,000 wild horses in the middle of the country or something. Make some burgers out of them. At least they didn't die for nothing. Now I'm getting the flannel again because it got cold. We're switching it up after this brief break. Super clean. It's in a purple container and it cleans things. All right. I'm back. Gary Dryden celebrating his 33rd. Went out with the family. Nice, Gary. Happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday, man. Glad to hear it. I turned 31 a couple months ago. I don't know what 33 is like. It's probably a little bit similar to 31. Paul Pajui's asking what a Saginaw goes for in California. Paul, I've been seeing them on offer up. Cheapest around 650. Some are around 500 without shifter linkage. And I've got this four-speed Saginaw up online for 450 with the Hurst competition shifter on it. And people are still trying to lowball me. Mexican specs all right, things only have value when other people have them. That has also been my experience. It's all too true, man. Hunter saying soon, hopefully, I'll have two four-speed cars in the fleet. You know, saying Hunter, if you find a '62 Corvette T10, sell it, flip it to a Chicago 9-year New York guy, 2,000 to 4,000. He's rebuilding the top loader for the Mustang. Next inspect saying I'll be 57 soon. Too soon. 57's a good age. 57's a good age. One of the guys I work with is 55, but he drinks and smokes so much that he looks like he's 85. So that's that. Dan saying I'm an old fart. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Pretty much almost everybody here is older than me, give or take. Hunter's much younger than me. Gary Dryden saying it's the same. You just lose patience easier. I feel you there, Gary. I thought I would get less grumpy. I'm a miserable bastard. Miserable bastard. It happened fast, man. I mean, I was always a curmudgeon. My mom, I don't know if my mom's still on here, but you can ask her. You be saying I'm on the last of my try 5 years. And that is why, for such a significant year, that is why I made sure to give you the gift of an 11-year-old semi incontinent cat. Hope our man's going to be 46 in January. Damn, son. Excellent, Spexton. I do like the ketchup, so I have that going for me. Gary's like, I got called a 26-year-old the other day. I'll take it. Yeah, that never happened with me, Gary. I've looked like old. Yeah, Brother Bear. I was telling him he needs to get his 58 Impala on. Start wearing some bling. Yeah, Mexican spec Heinz. I know, I got you. Oh, it's still under try 5 years. Gary's hair got longer than the picture. That's cool, man. I keep mine pretty short. I used to let it get longer, do the Elvis thing, get everywhere, but now it's kind of a fire hazard, so I figured less hair is better. UB's got his uncle's 58 vet down the street. Full Chevy family. All of a sudden, I was born at peak muscle car. I was born the same year as the riots, the Rodney King thing, Desert Storm. This aggression will not stand. Aggression towards Kuwait. Nancy and I was born with the Tornado. Mexican spec. Saying that was a bad time. By the time you knew what was going on, it was over. Hunter saying if I just had a transmission to start with, at least, how much it would cost to ship a Saginaw over to Georgia. I also have a T5 from Barrow's garage that I probably should have installed behind that 350, but I didn't. I like the SM 420 though. It's a damn good. It's a truck trans. I guess that was more of the appeal to me. I don't know. Gary Dryden's feet's about a box of biscuits. Gary Dryden's hair is about 2 feet, give or take. That's pretty badass, man. Dickie Farley's in the chat saying, I already need some coffee. I sure do, man. I'm half asleep over here. I thought I looked stoned for most of the live stream over here. Like, just stoned. Let's see. I wonder if pounds torque. M22 Legend has made for 700 foot-pounds torque. Super T10 original AMC. Javelin Racing specs. Oh, he's talking. BNR's getting crazy. Hunter, you got BNR talking. You better get a pen and paper out, man. You can learn something. Del Campo saying Rodney King ran from the cops at over 100 miles per hour in a Hyundai. That's when I started paying attention to the Hyundai. Ain't Namer saying I was born in a crossfire hurricane. whatever that means. Saying, I know the Longtail Super T10 is on Texas. He has a bell housing. I need some other stuff. I'm hoping if he does sell, I can afford to have it freighted to me. Dave Lewis is saying use Fastenal to ship it, pallet it, cheapest way. I was thinking about that, Dave, because shipping things, certain things, freight isn't that expensive comparatively. Comparatively, doesn't mean it's not expensive. Barrow's Garage is saying the 4.3 liter T5 is a better match for that 350. The little 2.8 liter is a little low in the first gear. Just be gentle with it if you do. Brother Barrow would have been such a good. It would have been so perfect behind that old 6 cylinder, but of course it had. I think it blew like 2 days before you brought me the T5. I mean, I could chalk it up to it wasn't meant to be, but still, you know what I mean. Jeez. I will use the transmission though. Mark my words. Dan saying I think Greyhound does freight too. I'm saying. Hunter saying I thought about putting a T5 in my Mustang, but I think the top loader would be cooler, more fun. Yeah, yeah, I think that. Well, the top loader is real original and everything else. I'm with you there. Got a Leberton saying February 28th here. 46, but I feel like 25. Went swimming 2 hours for my girl's 11th birthday and had 12 kids party at my mom's camp. Went to bed at 3. Spent 3 hours up at 7. Pancakes and bacon for 8. Hockey at 6 p.m. Now it's 1:40. That's pretty cool, man. As long as you can keep up. I don't know. I fluctuate. You know, I mean, I'll have times where I'm just like, damn, I can't keep up with any of this, and then other times where I'm perfectly fine. Lately, I've been pretty damn tired. Hunter saying, I think I'm going to get Black Widow neighbor hater mufflers and an X pipe on the Mustang because I love the way Craig 909 302 sounds. Darren saying, need to move a rust. Yeah, pretty much, man. I try. I try to keep moving. Damn, man. Arrow's Garage is saying, I love the simplicity of the top loader Muncie. You can pull it, rebuild it, and have it back on the road in a few hours. I really like this transmission. It's pretty damn tough. It seems to do its thing. Hunter's asking if I've seen the Craig's truck. No, I haven't. I'm unenlightened, man. Mexican spec saying we have all the time zones covered. Paul saying maybe it was 100 kilometers in the Honda. Yeah, Olive, that was the big claim is he was going 100 miles per hour. What was it down? Which street? I forget which street. It's kind of a weird one. We studied that a little bit in the last portion of high school that I paid attention to, and I had a teacher that was real level-headed, so we actually got to look into it a good bit. I liked that. Reed Dryden saying I might LS swap my Frontier if my head is as bad as I think it is, but looking for good ideas because my 4.0 VRQ is extremely expensive. That kind of sucks. You know what I mean? It was the same thing with my 235, Gary. You know, it's like an engine I loved, an engine I depended on for a long time, but the rebuild cost was just outrageous. Hubie's Garage is asking me if I'm up for the Moon Eyes New Year's party. again in January. I'll be taking a 55 Bel Air sedan this time. Yes, please, Hubie. I would love to go. I'd love to help with whatever I can. Um, yeah, that was an absolute blast. I mean, just an absolute blast last year. This year, it's not next year yet. I'm in 2024 already, even though my mind's still somewhere around 2008. But yeah, I would love to go, man. That'll be kind of cool too, because I know you've got your sedan a little more dialed in, right? So I mean, I know you weren't obviously you're still kind of getting you're still tuning up the gasser and everything else, so you're kind of getting to where you know what it's going to do and how you want it tuned. But I know you got the sedan down, so you probably get some results that you're happier with. Danny Boyd saying, "I'm proud to say I've never driven or even ridden in a Hyundai. I can't. My buddy's got an '01 Hyundai, the one that looks kind of like a Jaguar. Man, that car's a piece of crap, but he's had it for a few years now." Gary Dryden saying, "A buddy had a cammed out Excel, still couldn't break 100 miles per hour." UB saying, "I think it's on January 27th." Yeah, definitely. Like I said, definitely UB. I put down the date. I'll put in for it now if I need to. I don't know. I'm sure, assuming it's on a weekend, but just in case. UB, I had a buddy from work because we got contractors that are from different parts of the country. He's a guy from Georgia, and he's been enjoying all the car culture out here because obviously it's kind of a hub for that kind of thing. So he recently went to the Peterson Museum, and he was asking me, it's like, do you do any car stuff, car related stuff out there? I was like, me, I was like, not really. I go to a couple smaller shows, and I had mentioned New Moon Eyes to him, so he wants to go as well. He's a gentleman named George, real cool dude, really good mechanic, older guys. Mexican spec, it's open to interpretation. UB's garage is saying the gas will be a long-term paint and lettering job. I'm hoping to have it done by the end of summer. That's going to be cool, especially because I know you've got a great vision for the car. You're going to, do it its original justice and get it to where it needs to be. Um, that'll be really cool. Again, if I can help with anything, I know I'm not the most helpful, but just the same, I can lend a hand with whatever. Peyton Namer saying Keith Richards was born during an air raid during World War II, and that's what Crossfire Hurricane means. I looked it up. Hey, but it's all right now, Peyton Namer. In fact, it's a gas. Hughes Grad is saying, geez, you got to look up the Sega guys and go see a real cool gasser show. They're in Georgia and Tennessee. I'll tell them about it. We might know. Barrow's Garage is saying, I wonder if you could sue Fiat for putting 140 mile per hour speedo in a 500. It's false advertising or bad decisions. Or bad decisions. Olive saying, I never had a new car. Me either, Olive. Me either. Hubie's Garage is saying, he helped tear it apart. I still need to post that video too. Yeah, that was cool, man. It was cool messing with the. It's I mean, the old Chevys are pretty forgiving, and then of course the fact that the Tri Fives like the back of your hand, it was very reassuring. It was like, all right, let's just get into this. You know what I mean? There's not going to be any. I mean, the only weirdness was the welding of the inner fender wells and stuff like that, but that was easy enough. It wasn't even welding; it was technically brazing, I guess. Still really cool. What a beautiful old car, and it's going to be great because I know Everybody's like, "Oh, the patina," and you're like, "This is not what it's supposed to look like." So I get it. You know, making the car look right will be pretty great. Buff Del Campo saying I've had two new cars. He's 1940, 1974 AMC Matador and a 2016 Mazda 6. Mexican spec saying you can't find an 87 Sunbird or any model today if you tried. And I have. Well, guys, I'm probably going to go ahead and call it. We're right here at 2.5 hours, and I've been falling asleep since I started. So I think it's a safe time to call it for the evening. You be saying my aunt had two Fiat X19 Spiders. They both caught fire. Jeez, guess I shouldn't laugh at that. But Buff saying my daily driver is a Mazda 6, but it's becoming a 7.2 Valiant. That's going to be cool to see. That's what I want to do with my Dart Buff is just make it an easy daily cruiser, something I don't have to shift in. You know, hopefully just mild maintenance, nothing crazy. Watch that thing just be a full lemon. No. But yeah, guys, probably go ahead and call it a night. I appreciate everybody coming through. It was a great live stream, great chat. As usual, I'm always learning something from you guys, and it's a bunch of fun. I hope everyone has a great week, prosperous. Stay safe out there. I'm fairly certain I'll do a stream. I mean, I don't know if I'll do a Christmas Eve stream. We'll kind of play it by ear there. But if either way, have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope the next week isn't too stressful for you, depending on your situation. And above all this, you know, despite all the holiday hubbub, whatever you may have going on, if you have family over, make sure to check your fluids. Nancy, and unclog your brake bleeder screws. Right on, guys. Thanks so much. Check your fluids.